Most people think they know what to expect inside a museum. But in Poland, some visitors walk into art exhibitions and leave completely shocked. Not because the art is new, not because it's illegal, but because it's been openly displayed for years. While some call it artistic freedom, others see it as a direct challenge to tradition. So why is Poland becoming one of Europe's most talked about destinations for modern body art? The answer is far more surprising than most people expect. And when these two distinct worlds meet, when the old soul encounters the new form, the result can be quite surprising. It can create waves. It can cause an uproar that echoes far beyond the gallery walls, touching the very heart of the nation's identity. This is not just a story about art. It is a story about a country in conversation with itself. Picture yourself walking in the old town of any historic Polish city. Let your feet find the rhythm of the cobblestones worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. You see the rich, deep red of tiled roofs. You see stone walls that have stood for ages. People are gathered at small cafes. The past is not a memory here. It is a living presence. They cherish the comfort of family, the anchor of faith, the quiet dignity of long-held routines. It is a world of substance, of weight, of deep roots. Now, let us leave that street. You find yourself inside a modern gallery. The warm, golden light of the old town is gone, replaced by a cool, even glow from hidden sources. The walls are high and stark white, stripped of all ornament. The air is still. Your footsteps echo on the polished concrete floor. New art waits here, placed carefully on pedestals or hung with geometric precision. This art can be loud even in its silence. It can be strange. It can feel like it is from another planet, not just another street. The contrast between these two worlds is striking. It is more than just a difference in style. It is a difference in philosophy. The old town speaks of community, of shared history, of a story that belongs to everyone. The modern gallery, however, often speaks in a more personal, more challenging voice. It does not always seek to comfort. It seeks to question. It wants you to stop and think, to feel something, even if that feeling is confusion or discomfort. This is not the art of quiet landscapes or noble portraits. This is the art of the idea, the concept, the raw, unfiltered expression. This stark visual divide is where the tension is born. It is like a scene from a film, a clear picture of two forces existing side by side. The nude form has a long and complicated story in the history of European art. For many centuries, artists studied and depicted the human body. They did not see it merely as flesh, but as the ultimate form of beauty, the vessel of the human spirit. They used the unclothed body to tell the grand stories of their time. They painted gods and goddesses, heroes, saints. In the hallowed halls of our great museums, these works now appear calm, noble, even classical. They represent a high point of artistic achievement, a celebration of ideal form and grace. Yet even in its classical form, the nude has always had the power to cause trouble. Throughout history, people found it shocking. They argued fiercely over matters of taste and public morality. Lines were drawn between art and indecency. What one generation saw as beautiful and divine, the next might call scandalous. Over time, views shifted and changed. Years soften edges. Uproar becomes classic. In recent years, a series of modern exhibitions in Poland have captured public attention in a dramatic way. Curators, looking to foster a dialogue about contemporary life, selected art that presented the human body in new and often startling ways. They moved beyond traditional painting and sculpture. They embraced video, performance art, installations made from unusual, everyday materials. Some of the works were explicitly nude, showing the body without apology or classical context. Others were more abstract, using parts of the body or suggestive forms in strange and unsettling settings, challenging our very perception of what is human. For many visitors, this was not what they had signed up for. The galleries were no longer quiet repositories of the past. They had become active arenas for debate. Visitors who were surprised and sometimes offended did what people in the modern age do. They pulled out their phones. They took pictures and videos. They shared their shock and disbelief online, and the news of these provocative shows spread like wildfire. The artists and curators often had a clear purpose. They wanted to explore themes of identity, vulnerability, consumerism, and the pressures of modern society. They used the body as a universal symbol, a canvas on which to project these complex ideas. A video loop of a figure in a steam bath was not just a scene, it was an exploration of purification and renewal. But this artistic language was not always clear to the general public, who saw something much more direct, and sometimes much more offensive. What happened next was predictable, yet profound. The supporters of this provocative art spoke with a clear and consistent voice. Their central argument rested on the vital principle of artistic freedom. To them, a society that dictates what its artists can and cannot create is a society that has lost its way. Art, they insisted, is one of the last true spaces for unfettered expression in a world filled with rules and regulations. It is a laboratory for ideas, a place where the unthinkable can be thought and the unspeakable can be said. Difficult but important themes: the objectification of the body in a consumer culture, the psychological pressures of modern life, the fading of old traditions. The body, especially the nude body, was used as a powerful and universal symbol to communicate these ideas directly, bypassing the intellect and hitting the viewer on a gut level. Furthermore, these defenders of the art pointed out that debate itself is a sign of a healthy democracy. Finally, supporters reminded critics that no one was being forced to look. These were not images plastered on public billboards. They were housed within the specific context of an art gallery. People choose to enter that space. The critics of these exhibitions spoke with a different kind of passion, one rooted in a deep sense of tradition and community. Their arguments were not against art itself, but against a particular kind of art that had lost its moral compass. It should uplift the human spirit, reflect beauty, reinforce the values that hold a society together. The question is not simply about whether a piece of art is good or bad. It is much deeper than that. The question becomes, what does this art say about us? What does the reaction to it reveal? People gather in these galleries, their faces illuminated by the stark lighting. Some look confused, some look angry, others look deeply moved. Each person brings their own history, their own values, their own fears into that room. The art on the wall is just the beginning of the story. The real drama unfolds in the hearts and minds of those who stand before it, trying to make sense of what they see. And so, we find ourselves at a fascinating crossroads, a place where deep-seated tradition and radical expression collide. This is not a simple conflict with a clear hero and villain. It is a complex human drama. It is about how a society grapples with change. It is about the lines we draw and the reasons we draw them. The story of Poland's most shocking exhibits is not really about the exhibits themselves. It is about the soul of a nation, caught in a moment of profound and challenging self-reflection.